Okay, it's Bob Rivers here. It's a little less noisy than it was last night in the sugar house, and I promised to show you a little bit about how maple syrup is made today from the woods. And the good news is it's nice and warm this afternoon, so the sap is flowing. Let's go to a maple tree. So that's a tap, and if you watch, you can see the liquid coming out of the tree. Just a drop at a time, and there it goes. The grove of maple trees that a sugar maker uses is called a sugar bush. I didn't name it, but that's what it is. So this is the sugar bush at Stonehill Farm. We have approximately 400 taps that make somewhere around 200 gallons of maple syrup each season. More if I can talk my wife into letting me expand. The sap comes down this line here. This line is called a lateral, and then the larger line is a main line. And if you look really close at the lateral, you can see the sap moving through it. The sap comes out as somewhere around 1.5 to 2.4% sugar. And in order to boil it and make a gallon of maple syrup, you have to boil somewhere around 40 gallons of sap just for 1 gallon of syrup. Of course, that varies depending on the sugar content. And one of the fun things to brag about if you're a producer is how much sugar content you're getting at any given time. Up here, another tree. Let's look at the tap and see if anything's coming out of this one. There she goes. Beautiful. So the sap comes down. This is called a drop, by the way, because it drops from the tree down to the lateral line, which connects to a main line. What is that, you may ask? Down below, and I'm going to try not to slip on the ice here. It would be a sad way to end this video, I know. Down below this little building is the sap shed. In there, our vacuum sucks the sap faster out of the trees. The old-fashioned way of doing this, I have to lift this door off. Whoops. There we go. The old-fashioned way of doing this, of course, was in buckets and carrying them. But we use tubing. The tubing comes down here to the sap shed. And inside the sap shed, this little baby is called a releaser. So we have a vacuum pump at the barn, and it keeps pressure. That's pressure gauge. Right now it's sitting at about 23.5 inches of mercury. Full pressure would be 30, and it's a little bit low. It could mean we have a leak somewhere, but more than likely it means that the sap coming through the lines is lowering the pressure read at this meter. So anyway, sap's coming out of 5 different main lines. They all have names. One of them is the longest one. Another one's near the barn lower down, and one's next to my neighbor Matt. It comes into this little releaser thing. This is a fantastic gizmo. What it does is it allows the sap to come through without releasing the pressure. When one tank gets up to a certain height, it is like a little ball inside there that lifts up, and then it switches this mechanism to the other tank. So the sap gets dumped into this giant stainless steel vat here, but it does it without losing the vacuum. And it shouldn't take too long to release a few gallons of sap the way it's coming. It's coming pretty quick, usually every 2 or 3 minutes. So we're just going to sit here and wait for the sap to release. Here we go. Saying hi to all the people watching. Anne-Marie, how are you? Mike Markowski. Yes, Mike is a good handyman. He's going to help me work on this stuff. Where is the still? I don't make liquor, although if I did, it would be more profitable than maple syrup because I don't drink it. Okay, we're getting there. It's got to be pretty close. Look how crazy that sap is coming through. That's from all the trees, about 400 trees, all dripping one drip at a time, being sucked in by vacuum. Now, when this is ready to go, you see that lever on the left that is all the way up, that little piston, that rod. You'll start to see that come down, and then the cylinder on the right will dump out. There it goes. There goes the sap. This particular tank holds about 785 gallons. I think I got about 250, closing in on maybe 300 gallons. The way it's coming now, I should be able to boil this evening and maybe make another 5 to 10 gallons of maple syrup. So there you have it. Hey, Joshua Selly, how are you doing, sir? Hi to everybody who's watching. Thank you very much. Share with your friends. And if you'd like some small farm maple syrup from a money-losing operation, I know just the place for you. All you have to do is go to BobRivers.blog. That's where we have our little maple syrup store, BobRivers.blog. And I'm not pushing it, although if I sell enough of it, Lisa lets me keep doing this. There you go. Let's take one last look at sap coming out of a tree. And it's coming slowly. Let's take one last look at the sap who makes all of this possible. That would be me. Have a wonderful spring, everybody. Get your COVID shot, and we'll see you as soon as we can get on an airplane.